it is our first day of the summer survival series, and we are talking about hydration today. Now, I know everybody always knows I need to drink water and stuff, but what I really want to do is, for me personally, if I understand why something is important other than just I need to drink water so I'm not dehydrated, it helps me be more mindful of doing whatever that is. Is there anybody else in here? Put a 1 in the chat if anybody else in this group finds that knowing why you need to do something helps you sometimes do it better. And I am trying to see the little chat. Yes, it is always helpful. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Alrighty, so water is so essential for our brains that a loss of just 1 or 2% can significantly impact our cognitive function, making it harder to focus, concentrate, make decisions, or even connect with others. And this is from Dr. Hyman and his CEO, Dur Purahit. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that, but 1 to 2%. Guys, that is like just 1 less glass of water a day. Just having 1 glass short of what you need can actually cause you to have cognitive function problems. That right there, when I saw that, I was like, ooh, that's a reason. It's not just like I'm going to have dry skin or elephant skin or hands that are looking a little bit older or dry lips. Literally, you will not be able to think as well. Has anybody ever heard that little bit of a difference can actually, dehydration can impact your ability to cognitively think? No, I've never heard of that either. Okay, so, oops, too fast. All right, here's another thing that I think is really interesting. We all know that about 60 to 75%, depending upon where you read it, of our body is water, okay? But I wanted to go into what percentage of your body organs have water and how much water your body organs need. So your brain needs 80%, which means that if you do not have enough water and you are even just slightly dehydrated, your brain literally shrinks. The cells in your brain start to shrink. Your heart, that's another key organ of our body, is 75% of it is water. Your lungs, 90%, your blood, 83%. So like, forget your skin where you can visibly see it. If you're starting to see that your skin looks slightly dehydrated, that's only 64%. Look at your brain, your heart, your lungs, your muscles. Just think of what's happening to the rest of your body. It is literally starting to shut down, right? And we sometimes don't notice it until our skin just feels a little dry. By then, all these other organs are having issues. And 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated. So we're going to talk about a challenge, a fun 7-day challenge on how to figure out what it feels like to be fully hydrated, because everybody's like, how much water do I need to drink? And that's kind of a difficult question to answer. I know all of us have always heard the classic, like half your body weight in ounces. That's what's wrong with your brain. I know that's what's wrong with a lot of our brains, right? I love that. And so that is a true statement. All right. So why are we dehydrated? Here is a really interesting, some facts. So our body is using water all day long. We use it for digestion. We use it to convert food to energy. We use it to detoxify ourselves. And detoxification does not mean that you're doing some sort of like a 3-day cleanse or a 5-day cleanse or fasting. Your body is constantly trying to detoxify and remove toxins from your body. That is just a function of your body that is happening whether or not you're trying to remove toxins from your body. When we sweat, we pee, or we poop, we are losing water. Any caffeinated beverage dehydrates your body. So I know a lot of people love their soda or their cup of coffee in the morning or their tea. Those will dehydrate your body. We're going to talk about why a cup of coffee should not be the first thing that we grab in the morning. Having refined sugar, stress helps or dehydrates your body. And here's something that's really important. Just drinking water does not hydrate you. Okay. We need to have electrolytes in order to properly hydrate our body. And our brain and our body is using water while we are sleeping to restore and revitalize and detox our body. I've got a typo there at the end, so we're just going to all ignore that. So those are different reasons why we are dehydrated. So how can we then properly hydrate ourselves? Well, we need electrolytes. I have my favorite electrolyte drink right here by me. Electrolytes are things like sodium, potassium, chloride, magnesium, calcium, and phosphorus. The electrolytes, the function of the electrolytes is to help pull water into our cells. Most of us are drinking like tap water or filtered water, bottled water, and the electrolytes have been stripped from most of those waters. So it's really important that you have electrolytes. You have to have some type of electrolyte drink, but you need to be very cautious about what type of electrolyte drink that you choose. Why are electrolytes important? Okay, as I mentioned a second ago, electrolytes will bring the water into the cells of your body. So 65 to 90% of our cells is made up of water. Water inside the cell helps the cell maintain the shape and structure. Okay, when the shape and structure of the cell start to go haywire, that means it's not able to function properly. Electrolytes help neurons communicate with each other. It helps your kidneys filter the toxins. Remember, I said our body is constantly trying to detoxify our body from toxins. It helps with GI issues. It helps to make you pee. It helps to make you poop regularly. It helps with muscles. Electrolytes help with your heart. It helps with your blood vessels. So those are some really important functions of your body. Did anybody know all of the functions of electrolytes before this evening? No. I knew electrolytes were important, but sometimes I love doing these types of things because I love to really understand why it is that electrolytes are so important, because sometimes people just think, oh, electrolytes are helpful because it just helps us hydrate our body. That's not true. Like, it does help hydrate our body, but they have even more important functions. It's not just a matter of I can just drink enough water and I'll be fine. No, that won't help your body enough. And a lot of people, honestly, when they drink water, they tend to feel bloated. And it's because your body's not able to absorb that water as well when it doesn't have the electrolytes in it. So here is a fun, super easy 7-day morning water challenge. First thing in the morning, when you wake up, before you have anything else, drink 16 ounces of an electrolyte drink. Even before coffee, for you coffee lovers out there. I know there's some of them on this call, right? So before we have our coffee, even if you have decaf coffee, have yourself an electrolyte drink. Now we're going to talk in a couple minutes about how to choose a good electrolyte drink. You can try to make your own, but because you can use like Himalayan salt and lemon, but it still won't have all of the electrolytes as if you were to choose an electrolyte drink. But there's a lot of electrolyte drinks out there that are just garbage. And I want you to stay away from that because that won't help you. Now, after you have your first 16 ounces of electrolytes, then have a second 16 ounces. And you might be thinking, okay, Deb, that's a whole lot of water first thing in the morning. But the purpose of this is to hydrate your body really early in the morning so you can start to be aware of what does it feel like when I am properly hydrated. And you might notice maybe maybe I'm thinking more clearly. Maybe my mouth doesn't feel so much like a cotton ball. My lips feel better. Your skin feels better. Start to notice things about how you're feeling, because what we're trying to do is get it to the point where you eventually are aware of throughout the day little teeny tiny signs that you are not hydrated properly. And before you have like feeling thirsty, because if you're feeling thirsty, you're well past dehydrated. And should you wait till like, so they say for the second 16 ounces, you can have your coffee and your electrolyte drink kind of like at the same time, be sipping both, be two-fisted drinker there, right? And just kind of be aware of how you're feeling. So for the next 7 days, for those of you that are willing, take on this morning water challenge and see what kind of differences you notice. Now, I'm going to show you a little comparison chart here for some electrolyte drinks. Now, many of you may know that I am partnered with Plexus Worldwide as the supplements because I've tried just about everything out there. And to be honest with you, I've noticed a huge difference. So here are some common electrolyte drinks. There are probably plenty more on the market, but Liquid IV I know is a favorite of many people. So there's plenty of people that'll be like, they're aware of the fact that Powerade and Gatorade are just full of junk and garbage ingredients. So they'll be like, oh, I'll take Liquid IV. Well, let's look at this little comparison chart right here. There are 11 grams of sugar in one Liquid IV. And if you need to have 2 of them, that means you're up to 22 grams of sugar already. That's probably almost all of the sugar that you should technically be having in one day. And you've just wasted it on your electrolyte drink. The Gatorade and Powerade, I mean, like, I could talk forever on why we should stay away from those. Those have, a lot of them have high fructose corn syrup in them. They have artificial colors in them. They have artificial flavors in them. And please do not get me started on something that would say like Gatorade Zero. Okay. Anytime something says sugar-free, it should be a red flag to really read that label because it's very likely that they are using an artificial sugar ingredient. The Hydrate drink, that is my absolute all-time favorite electrolyte drink, uses stevia, which is a plant leaf extract. So it is an all-natural ingredient. There are no artificial flavors. There are no artificial colors of any sort in this drink. So, and in fact, there's actually antioxidants in this drink. So it's a really great way to get your electrolytes without all the other garbage in there. Now, since a lot of us are out and about doing different activities with our kids, I wanted to also just give you guys some tips and tricks on how you can stay hydrated during the day. Now, these fruits and veggies that I've listed here, these are perfect. Like if you're going to the park, you're going to a baseball game, or you're traveling or whatever, and you're wanting something to snack on, rather than maybe packing like peanut butter crackers, which are good, right? Peanut butter has protein in it. I'm always all about protein, but also pack some snacks that have water in them. So these are really great ideas that you can pack. These are not a substitute for electrolytes, okay? You might have some leafy vegetables do have electrolytes in them, but you're not going to get enough for your body. But this is just a neat way to try to help stay hydrated during the day as well after you've had your 32 ounces of electrolyte drink in the morning. Another really fun thing, if you're somebody that's like, I don't like plain water, this cute little pitcher with the fruits and some veggies in it, I can send out some neat little recipes, but you can put just a little bit of fruit. You don't have to have, they have fancy pitchers that have like this infuser where you put the fruit inside it. To me, that's just one more thing I have to keep in my cabinet. So I just literally use a water pitcher just like this, and I'll stick the fruits in there, sometimes maybe like a mint leaf or something. And as we drink during the day, you can just refill the water up. And as the day goes on, it may not taste as strong. Some of the fruits, like strawberries or watermelon in particular, at some point you may have to like use a strainer spoon and just pull them out so they don't kind of disintegrate in your water. But that's another fun way to have your water be flavored, where it's a healthy way to flavor your water. Has anybody here ever tried doing that with your water, like infusing your own water with fruits? Put a yes or one in the chat if you've ever tried infusing your own water. Very good. What have you put in yours? We always love to hear what people have used before. I did one time, I put cucumbers. It was my first time doing it. Put way too many cucumbers in my thing. Like it was yummy, but you could definitely taste the cucumber. So cucumbers, mint, and lime. Yes, nice and simple, but it gives it a nice flavor. Okay, so another thing to be really cautious of, and this might be the first thing that comes to somebody's mind on why we want to stay hydrated, and that is heat exhaustion or heat stroke. So has anybody here ever suffer from heat exhaustion or heat stroke? Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever had that happen to you. Yeah, it can kind of be a scary thing. I used to suffer from heat exhaustion all the time. I did cross country, and I would do like 5 and 10K races. And I was always afraid of getting a stitch when running. So I would like purposefully not drink for fear of getting a stitch. Then what would happen is the moment I would cross the finish line, I would literally throw up and just about pass out. And it was like guaranteed every time. Like my mom just knew it. Cross the finish line, puke, pass out. I mean, it was like the paramedics were always just ready and waiting for me. So it was not very smart. Luckily, it was never severe enough to have to end up going to the hospital, but we really do want to be cautious. So here's some things to look for. If you're having heat exhaustion symptoms, it may be things like you're kind of feeling a little bit weak. You might be sweating extra heavy, or your pulse rate kind of feels funny, or you do have the nausea, vomiting, or lightheadedness, dizziness, or you kind of feel it's kind of weird that you would be like sweaty and hot, and yet at the same time that cold, clammy feeling. So if it's just heat exhaustion, you can just move yourself to the shade. Do things like take your shoes and socks off. It's amazing how much heat can escape your body just by taking your shoes and socks off. Make sure the person lies down. Give them some water. It says sport drinks here. You know how I feel like in an emergency, yes, if somebody had a Powerade, but otherwise, make sure you're always walking around with my favorite hydrate drink, right? And you could use cold compresses. If you feel like the person is borderline heat stroke, you should just go ahead and call the paramedics. It's always easier to have them there and find out it was not as serious as you thought versus letting it, turn into something that's a little bit bigger. So we are looking to try to prevent any of this from happening. So if we do our hydration properly in the morning and then continue to drink throughout the day, this should hopefully never happen to us. So the reason why it's hard to know how much to tell you to drink, because it depends upon where you live. So those of us that live like in the humid areas, just by nature, tend to have to drink more than if we lived in an area that was not so humid. Some of us tend to move around a lot more because of our job or just, whatever, you're chasing kids around, that sort of thing, versus like just sitting in your house that's air conditioned. So it varies quite a bit, but if we can start to be aware of how great we feel in the morning when we're fully hydrated, then we'll start to notice how bad we might feel as we lose our hydration. Treat your body like a temple, not a woodshed. I love this quote from Jim Rohn. The mind and body work together. Your body needs to be a good support system for the mind and spirit. If you take good care of it, your body can take you wherever you want to go with the power, strength, energy, and vitality you need to get there. I always talk to people about treating our body like a temple. We get one body while we're here on earth. We can either treat it like a temple, or we can just treat it like a woodshed where we're just putting garbage and crap in it. But I promise you that sooner or later, the way you treat your body will catch up to you. We might all be able to treat our body like that woodshed, feeding it garbage and crap. And we've gotten away with it now, but at some point it is going to catch up to us. So make sure that you are taking care of yourself. And the things that we're going to talk about over the next 6 weeks will be things that we can, little tiny things that we can incorporate to treat our body like this temple, so that we're going to have this power and strength and energy and vitality to do all the things that we want to do. Because that's what we want for everybody on this call, is we want you guys to not have health sluggishness, just fatigue, or worse yet, bigger health issues to stop you, because you have a lot that you can accomplish, and we want to be able to see you accomplish all the things that you have in mind. And with that, simplification is the key to sustainability. If it isn't simple, it doesn't stick. So everything that we're going to be talking about over the next 6 weeks, we are going to try and keep it simple. That, like KISS, keep it simple, silly, or keep it simple, silly, whatever, right? Keep it simple, silly. That's how it goes. Because when things get complicated, most of us, and maybe there's somebody out there that can do complicated, but for me, put a 1 in the chat if you need simple in order to do it consistently over a long period of time. Yes, I know I need simple. I cannot do complicated. I used to have a really great health or like skincare system that I loved, and it was really great, but it was like 8 different things. And it got so complicated that basically I stopped using it. So now I do something else that's great and simple. Okay, so ways to connect with us. If you are interested in learning more, some of you already have somebody on this call that you're connected with. Some people, especially those that might be watching the recording, may not be connected with us. We would love to be able to talk to you about great supplements, about healing at the root health, give you recommendations for whatever your goals are, whether it's something simple like having more energy, or you're looking to improve your gut health, or maybe you want to lose some weight. We want to be able to be here to support you. We have a March into Wellness Facebook group that we would love to have you connected there. But I also realize that a lot of people that we've been connecting with lately aren't on Facebook at all. So that may not be a very viable solution. So we are looking for other ways that we're going to implement, because what we really want to build is this community of support. So you don't feel like you're just this lone person out here on your own, and maybe your sponsor is chatting with you and giving you great support. But honestly, community makes a huge difference. Put a 1 in the chat if you enjoy like having people, whatever it is, whether it's like your mom group for homeschool, it's, your church friends. If you just find that you like having your little small group, maybe some of you like the big group, but just people to feel like you're a part of something, that's what we want to create here. So if you are not connected to somebody already that's in this group, then you can text the word summer to 478-280-2595, and we will make sure that you get connected in with us and be able to help you over the next 6 weeks and the remainder of the year. If you found this video helpful and you know of somebody that you think would benefit from this, by all means, please share the link. We want to spread the knowledge and the love and the joy and the passion with as many people as we can. So please absolutely feel free to share the link. And we thank you for being here with us. I'm going to stop the recording. And then if anybody has questions, I'll be happy to answer questions. And we hope to see you next Monday when we are talking about rest and energy. And we'll be on at 9 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. So I'm going to go ahead and